Good morning everyone. I am Anjali Srinivas Badiganji from Sri Siddheshwar Women's College of Engineering Solapur, CSC AIDS branch. Today we will discuss on the topic of the fundamental rights. Introduction. Right means those the freedom which are essential for the personal of the good of the community. The rights guaranteed under the Constitution of the India are the fundamental as they have been incorporated into the fundamental law of the land and we are enforceable in the court of the law. Fundamental rights are those basic conditions of the social life without which the citizen cannot be at his best self, or those the basic conditions which are very essential for the good life of a citizen. Here the silent points. Fundamental rights. So what are the fundamental rights? Right to equality, right to freedom, right to education, right against exploitation, right to freedom of the religion, right to constitutional remedies. So right to equality. Equality before the law, it is article number 14. Social equality and the equal access to the public areas, article number 15. Equality in the matters of the public employment, article 16. A violation of the untouchability, it is article number 17. And a violation of the titles, it is article number 18. Right to equality. Right to equality, it is the important right provided for in articles 14 to 18 of the Constitution. It is the principle of the foundation all other rights and the libraries and the guarantees the following: equality before the law, social equality and the equal access to the areas, equality in the matters of the public employment, a violation and the untouchability, a violation of the titles. So, right to freedom. Article 19, protection of the certain rights regarding the freedom of speech. The freedom of speech and the expression. Freedom to assemble the peacefully without the arms. Freedom to form the association or the unions. Freedom to move the freely throughout the territory of the India. Freedom to reside the settle in the any part of the territory of the India. Freedom to practice any profession or to carry the any occupation, trade or the business. Article 20, it is a protection in the respect of the conviction of for a offense. Article 21, protection in the life and the personal liberty. Article 22, protection against the arrest and the detection in the certain cases. So, right to freedom. The Constitution of the India contains the right to freedom given in the article number 19, 20, 21 and 22 with the view guaranteeing individual rights that were considered vital by the framers of the Constitution. The right to freedom in the article 19, it is guarantees the following 6 freedoms: freedom of speech and the expression, freedom to assemble peacefully without the arms, freedom to form the association or the unions, freedom to move the freely throughout the territory of the India, freedom to reside the settle in the part of the territory of India, freedom to practice any professions, to carry on the any occupation, trade or the business. Right against exploitation. Article number 13, prohibition of the traffic in the human beings and forced labor. Article 24, prohibition of the employment of the children in the factories, etc. Every citizen has the right against exploitation, prohibiting the all forms of the forced labor, child labor and the traffic in the human beings. Right against exploitation. The right against exploitation given in the article 23 and the 24 provides the two provisions: the violation of the trafficking in the human being and the beggar, the violation of the employment of the children, below the age of the 14 years in the dangerous jobs like the factories and the mines. The child labor, it is considered a gross violation of the spirit and the provision of the constitution. Beggar practiced in the past by the landlords has been declared the crime and the punishable by the law. Trafficking in the human for the purpose of the slave trade or the prostitution, it is also prohibited by the law. And the exception, it is made in the employment without payment for the compulsory services for the public process, compulsory military or the conscription, it is covered by this provision. Right to freedom of the religion. Article number 25. Freedom of the conscience and the free of the profession, practice and the propagation of the religion. Article 26. Freedom to manage the religious affairs. Article 27. Freedom as the payment of the taxes for the promotion any particular religion. Article 28. Freedom as to attendance at the religion instruction or the religion worship in the certain educational constitution. Right to freedom of the religion, it is covered in Article 25 to 28, provides the religious freedom to all the citizens of the India. The objective of this right is to sustain the principle of the secularism in the India. According to the constitution, all the religions are equal before the state and no religion shall be given preference over the other. Citizens are free to teach, practice and propagate any religion of their choices. The religious communities can set up their charitable constitution of their own. Activities in such institutions which are not religious are performed according to the laws laid and down the government. No person shall be compelled by the taxes for the promotion of the particular religion. A state runs the institution cannot impact the education, that is the pro-religion. Right to get the education. Article 29. The protection of the interest of the minorities. Article 30. Right to minorities to establish and administer education constitution. Every child has a right to get the basic education. As the India country of the many language, religion and the culture, the constitution provides the special measures in the Article 29 and 30 to protect the life rights of the minorities. Any community which has the language and the script of its own has the right to conserve and develop it. No citizen can be discriminated against the admission in the state or the state aided constitutions. All the minorities, religions or the linguistic as can set up their own educational constitutions to preserve and develop their own culture. In the guaranteeing aid the instructions, the state cannot be discriminate against any constitution on the basis of the fact and it is administered by the minority institution. The right administrator does not mean that the state cannot interfere in the case of the maladministration. Right to constitutional remedies for the enforcement of the fundamental rights. In the imprisonment of the citizen can ask the court to see if the according to the provision of the law of the country, if the court finds it is the not the person will have to be freed. The procedure of the asking the courts to preserve and the safeguards the citizens. The fundamental rights can be done with the various ways. The courts can issue the various kinds of the rights. These rights are the habeas corpus and the mandamus, prohibition, quo and voto and the certiorari. When with a national state emergency is declared, this right it is suspended by the central government. So we will discuss the all six fundamental rights. Thank you.